You gotta stop with your fucking partisan fucking posts and your articles here. This is just getting beyond ridiculous at this point. I mean, come on. I mean, nothing like laying your cards out on the table. We get it. You love Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. We understand. That's your cup of tea. You know, these are the people you prefer. But why don't you just go and become a... Why call yourself a news outlet, the Globe and Mail? Why don't you just become a tabloid? I mean, you know, at least the tabloids, most people understand that they're just, you know, they're not factual, they're opinion based, you know, they're open to many different forms of interpretation or preferences or ideologies. Just, I mean, there's nothing even remotely left of what used to be considered, like when I was growing up, what was considered news. If you look at all of you guys nowadays, not one of you are left behind, but I guess you have to try to keep up with the Joneses, right? But not one of you have stayed true to honest journalism and integrity. Not one of you. And I mean, the fact, I know you're thinking that you're going to be able to fucking dominate in the online fucking media, but it's not going to happen because you're not going to be able to stifle the competition in a world where you can't. Because people that know how to use a computer, coding, I mean, there's just no way you're going to dominate that space. It's never going to happen. So why you continue to keep, having your editorial board or idiots like this Lawrence Martin, where you're just this constant pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding away of being shills for the Liberal Party, you know, while pretending to be an independent media outlet. Well, it's just a fucking joke, all right? I mean, how many times do I got to call you out on your dishonesty? Just be honest with the people. I know you're scared to fucking death. Oh, if you inform them, they shit might... Honesty is always the best policy. All right? Lies are not going to... Especially at this junction, when we're talking about now... this is the thing. All you're trying to do is be political opportunists to get your particular brand in power. While most Canadians, the almost 10 million that stayed the fuck home, and the younger generations that are still not quite understanding and confused about what politics is all about, they want someone to tell them the truth. They want people like myself to be in positions of power and influence like you guys are. But here you guys have the platform, the base, to explain and be honest with the Canadian people. But you choose to play the fucking politics game. Always. The partisan politics game. Because you expect that if this person wins or whatever, you might be able to cozy up and benefit. Stop thinking of just fucking benefiting yourself. All right? Isn't that what all you fucking altruist collectivists always talk about? Altruism, right? Well, if you want to practice what you fucking preach, you want to be altruistic, then think about what the Canadians need to hear, not what you want to tell them. What the Canadians need to hear is that, first of all, that choosing between the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus to rule over you is a false fucking paradigm. It's a false dilemma. It's a false choice because neither of them exist. Neither of them have legitimate... powers to control or to dictate how you live. You know this. Same with the Liberals, the NDP, the Conservatives, progressive Conservatives, whatever you want to call them. These are all just sociopaths and control freaks that want to control and dictate the lives of the other almost 35 million Canadians. And yet here you have our establishment media outlets that just want to play politics rather than in 2015, 30, 40 years ago, people might have been able to pull this shit off before the internet age, before people actually had the ability to instantaneously learn your lies. If a person had to, we all know that most people aren't going to put a whole lot of work and effort into and to determining if you're telling them the truth or not. So yes, you could lie to people easily. 20, 30, 40 years ago, and politics was easy peasy, nice and sleazy, right? Not no more. Why the fuck you guys don't recognize this in 2015? I will never, other than the fact that you're, like I said, you're playing politics. But do you not realize that that when you're doing this shit, once the umbrella, once the veil has been pulled down, and you're going to be seen for exactly what you are, the partisan hacks what you are, which will happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen even before this election, but eventually in time, your legacy is going to be that you chose partisan politics, you chose to lie to the people at the time when it was very important for you to have the strength and courage to actually tell them the truth. Oh, what? Well, if I do that, I might get fired. Then get fucking fired. I've had multiple jobs over my lifetime, and for very good fucking reasons. It's because when I'm treated unfairly, improperly, I stand up for myself, and I don't give a shit what the consequences are. I will always stand up for what is right, what is just, because I'm a principled person. I'm seeing the fact that on your pet peeve causes, you show a little bit of principle. But in the grand scheme of things, you're still playing partisan politics. Give it up with this shit, Globe. Because you guys are actually one of the few fucking outlets that I'm holding a little bit of hope out and a little bit of trust that you might come around someday. So far, I'm not seeing it. But I'm going to keep fucking trying my best to call you people out so that maybe I can pressure you into, that's right, I'm a libertarian. So I won't use force or violence against you, but I'm going to try my best to, use logic, reason, non-contradictory talk, discussions. There's no politics when I'm talking. When I'm talking, I'm just talking from not just here, but from here, both. And I can match them. So I'm not being just raw emotion of without using my brain. I'm using my brain and my heart at the same time. Try it sometime. You might like it. But yeah, you really need to stop with your partisan crap. Let me just read from this article here from Lawrence Martin. A month ago, the Liberal Party's management team, faced with declining support numbers, got together for 3 days to plot strategy for the remaining months before the federal election. Since the extended session, news has gotten no better. The Liberals continue to droop in the polls. Since last fall, they've gone from about 36% to about 29%. That's a loss of about 20% of their support in an election year. That is ominous. In the Greater Toronto area, where the election may well be decided, a top strategist told me that the biggest drag on their numbers is not their own doing. It's the Ontario Liberal government's early age sexual education policy. I'm not kidding. It's hurting the brand badly in certain ethnic communities, especially in the West 905. So even this, they're talking, and if you read the article, people, like I said, it's important that you do know what you're responding to. So read the articles. But I've already done so. This is just someone telling. It's like they use politics, which is someone. Government is force. So it's the gun in the room at all times. Is they want to be able to use strategy, like as if this was a football game, and figure, okay, well, how can we beat this? That's your wrong approach. If you're saying, okay, well, let's figure out how we can manipulate, lie, deceive, and bullshit our way into gaining control of the power of government. That's not going to benefit the Canadian people, all right? Just because you think, well, if the gun's in my hand, you'll be safer. No. What I'm saying is that you need to start recognize that neither the Liberals, nor the NDP, nor the Conservatives, nor any other political party should have the right to use this to dictate and control and plunder from the people of Canada. We got to get out of this mindset. This old world, statism is the most dangerous religion on the planet. We know this. This is factual. It can be proven with very, very, very few questions. It's just like telling a kid that the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus doesn't exist. Yeah, they're going to be shocked at first. But it's the reality that they need to be told. You don't want kids running around or adults running around telling everybody that, Well, this Christmas, I'm going to sit around under my tree waiting for Santa Claus to bring me a gift. Government's not Santa Claus. They might try to pretend it is, that it can magically make things appear and reappear or change from here to there. But what it is, all government really is force. So what they're saying is, if they're going to promise you something, what they're really promising you is, we're going to, if we win, what they're saying, and this is what politics is all about, conservative, liberal, NDP, what they're saying is, give us the gun, and we'll be the ones that have the power to force all of our opponents to yield to our demands and our whims and our edicts. As a libertarian, as a moral human being, as someone with ethics and principles enshrined in my heart and in my mind, I'm saying, stop telling Canadians to use force to deal with each other. The fact that you're not doing it and that I have to do it, someone that has not even close to the platform or the audience that you have, it really sickens me that I have to be relegated, and I don't get paid for this shit. You fucking idiots are getting paid for what you're doing, and you still don't have the fucking courage to stand up. But I'll do it for free if need be. See, and I don't do it just on blind altruism. I do it with not just my own personal living and the consequences to my own life do I take into account in my own families. But yes, I do think of all the other people that are being screwed over because they're not told the truth. If you would only tell the people the truth, stop fearing change, stop fearing the truth, stop playing partisan politics. Be honest with the people. You would be absolutely amazed. Yeah, some of the people that benefit from it might not like you at first. But can they really? Think about you. Think about it. How evil, how vicious, how sadistic would someone have to be to keep hating you for telling them the truth? Most people, if they don't want to accept it right off the bat, which I recognize is going to happen, they're not going to truly hate you for telling them the truth. In time, many, in a short amount of time, will appreciate, respect, and admire you for doing so. I've known this not just in the way I raise my kids, in my own personal life, my work, friendships, or friendships outside my personal relationships. Honesty is actually the best policy. Even when sometimes it might hurt the people that you're telling the truth to. If you have enough tact, sensibility, and compassion and empathy for them, you can still tell them the truth without having to come across as vicious or vindictive or sadistic. That's what my message to the globe, the people at the globe, and to anyone else in the mainstream establishment media. If you want respect, if you want the people to look at you as leaders in any way, stop playing partisan politics and tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. And watch how much better we will all be in the long run for doing so. It's the Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.